June 1944. The Allies have landed in France, but Hitler is convinced it's a trick. He believes the real invasion is coming somewhere else, and he's keeping his most powerful armies waiting for a ghost. This is the story of that ghost. An army of 1,000 men that convinced the Nazis they were facing 30,000. An army that fired no bullets, but saved thousands of lives. An army made of rubber, radio signals, and pure imagination. This is the declassified story of the greatest magic trick in military history. The day the U.S. Army used Hollywood-style illusions to win a very real war. This is the incredible story of the Ghost Army. In 1944, the U.S. Army did something unprecedented. They secretly recruited painters, designers, and sound engineers. Their mission was to build a traveling stage show of war. These men were not typical soldiers. They were artists from New York and Philadelphia. Their weapons would be inflatable tanks, fake radio networks, and giant speakers. The military gave them a simple, impossible task: create an entire army out of thin air. Make the enemy see divisions that didn't exist. Make them hear artillery that would never fire. Their equipment was unlike anything ever seen in war. They carried hundreds of inflatable tanks and trucks. From just a few hundred yards away, these rubber balloons were indistinguishable from the real thing. But the deception went far deeper. They recorded the sounds of entire armored divisions, the roar of tanks, the shouts of soldiers, the chaos of a military camp. Then, they would blast these recordings from powerful speakers miles away. To German listeners, it sounded like an entire army was gathering in the darkness. Their first test came in France. The real U.S. Third Army was secretly moving to attack. The Germans had to be kept looking the other way. That's when the Ghost Army appeared. They created a massive, obvious military camp near a different town. They let German scouts spot their fake tanks. They filled the air with fake radio messages. It worked perfectly. German intelligence reported an entire armored division was preparing to strike. They never saw the real attack coming, but their greatest challenge was still ahead. During the Battle of the Bulge, Germany's last major offensive, American forces were stretched thin at a critical river crossing. Only 500 real soldiers defended the position. If the Germans attacked, they would be overrun. So, command sent in the ghosts. The 1,000 men of the Ghost Army transformed themselves. Through radio tricks and carefully placed inflatables, they convinced the Germans they were 30,000 strong. For 7 crucial days, the German army hesitated. They saw a powerful force where there was only a clever illusion. Those 7 days allowed real reinforcements to arrive. The most remarkable part: they did all this while knowing one direct attack would reveal their secret. A single artillery shell hitting an inflatable tank would expose the entire operation. These artists and engineers faced the same dangers as frontline soldiers, but they couldn't fight back. Their only protection was the strength of their illusion. And after the war, they disappeared back into civilian life. Their story remained classified for nearly 50 years. They were forbidden from telling anyone, even their families, what they had really done during the war. Why was this story hidden for so long? Because the methods were so effective, the military wanted to use them again. In the Cold War, these same tricks might be needed against new enemies. It wasn't until the 1990s that the files were finally opened. Many of these heroes never lived to see their story told. They carried their secret to the grave, their incredible achievements unknown to the world they helped save. The Ghost Army proved that sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't a tank or a bullet. Sometimes, the best way to defeat an enemy is to make them believe in something that doesn't exist. They saved countless lives without firing a shot. They fought a war of imagination, and they won. And their story reminds us that in the fog of war, what you believe can be more important than what's actually there. This is Soldier's Diary. What other incredible stories from history should we uncover? Tell us in the comments, and make sure to subscribe so you do not miss our next video about greatest untold stories.